Hey, everybody, what's happening? Welcome to yet another live Sunday Gastlecast, but this time it's heroic nonsense. Isn't that so cool? And look who's on YouTube with us, Jason Swoboda.
Oh my heavens! Hello.
We're so happy to go live tonight with you.
Yes. I'm excited. I've been taking some conversation classes.
Ooh. Oh, I can't wait to hear about that.
I could tell.
Yes.
So we've done this a couple times, and each time we've done it, it's been very fun. So I just want to throw this out there. This is a live podcast. We post a podcast like this every week, for the most part, on Anchor.fm. It's on Apple iTunes. It's on Google Play. It's literally anywhere that you can find a podcast. But we're doing it live tonight, so that means you, the audience, sitting here hanging out, can jump in on the conversation, because we hear all the time that, wow, I listened to your podcast and I wish I could chime in. Well, guess what? You can chime in! So we're going to have a good time tonight, and I can't wait. I look forward to heroic nonsense every week, but for some reason, we never actually do it until the very last minute.
So, technical issue, I cannot hear you, Chris, at all.
Oh, you can hear me?
No, you have faded out of existence.
I faded
with
out
the
of
exception of, you can't hear me.
So you can't hear me now?
Yeah, I can. It was like fading in and out there for a second.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear me now?
I can.
Test 1 2 3. I have enormous balls. Did you hear that?
I barely.
Okay, that was a lie.
That was a lie.
That's a lie. And that was a lie.
Yeah.
It might be because I'm talking way too much. So I have no idea what's on the roster tonight, Jason, so I'm going to leave that up to you. Once we open the podcast, so the podcast will start recording here in a moment, I have to open up our program so we can get that going. Jason, why don't you do a song and dance for them for 2 seconds?
Well, I was singing "Do You Hear What I Hear" in the style of Bing Crosby prior to all this. So.
Oh,
Excellent.
that's good.
Well, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I was enjoying it.
But it's not. See, I was up at. Well, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I was in the Christmas spirit today.
You were in the Christmas spirit. Okay, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. I'm going to test.
What I hear?
Let's go ahead and test. Testing. Noin. Heather, go ahead.
Testing. 1 2 3.
Testing. Noin. Bit of a misstep. Or a bit of a misfire.
I'm going to turn you up a little bit. Jason, go ahead.
I said it was a bit of a misfire.
Excellent.
Misstep.
Or we're talking about the...
Oh, no. It was a bit of a stumble.
A bit of a stumble. We're talking about the Apple iPad. All right. For Howard Stern, non-listening Howard Stern people, you don't understand what we're talking about. Okay, so let me start this over so we can start recording. Guys, make sure you chime in and hang out with us. We're going to be starting here in 2 seconds. Here we go. Welcome to Heroic Nonsense. I'm Chris.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Jason.
Okay, can I ask why you sound like Santa?
Well, I was up in my parents' attic. We go to drop off the kids because we wanted if it was just 5 minutes without hanging with our roommates that we've been hanging with for basically every single moment for the past couple months. So we dropped off our children, our roommates, and dropped them off with parents. And then my mother's like, "Oh, can you go up in the attic and change the air conditioning filter?" I said, "How about when I come back, please." So we go driving around, but we came back, and I went up in that attic, and it's hot up there because it's like a crawl space almost. But that's where their air conditioner, the indoor portion of their unit, is in their attic.
So where the air conditioner is located, there is no air conditioning.
Yeah,
that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it was tad stifling up there. So, but I go up there, climb. I gotta move all the stuff out of the way. But it's Beanie Babies and boxes, and so I started just opening up the boxes because I'm like, I'm already sweating. So
did you have the sweat beads going down like your back? I mean, that's when you know you're very hot.
No, it's not. I pour off of my face. So I drip off of my face. And then like I start to sweat in the worst spots. Like I have since I'm a fairly I'm a man of larger stature. I I get the under boob sweat. I get I'll just sweat under my like the chin area here. So like under the shirt, I'll sweat there, and I'll sweat under the boobs and in just weird spots. And I would have almost like it's a Rorschach pattern depending uh, on when you see me in the course of that.
Your sweat
But
tells your mood.
yeah, but it just pours off my face, and I'm like, I got, and but I unearthed all these Christmas ornaments that were forgotten about because we used to buy Hallmark ornaments pretty. I don't want to say religiously, but militantly, I think is a better word for it. Like some people try falling off the wagon with the substance abuse. That's what we did with Hallmark ornaments. Just like I was gonna avoid them, but they were having a sale for 20% off, and I had to buy them all. But this is like stuff from the 80s and 90s, stuff that no longer works with current light strings that they have. Like remember Hallmark would sell the ones that would light up or make noise or talk, and you would just pop out the bulb on one of the Christmas strings and then pop that in, and then suddenly you could interact with this. It would light up. It would do all the, like, you put it in the socket. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we found all these, but, it was like duplicates and triplicates. Like Elvis, Statue of Liberty. There was the...
Wait a minute. You just make... Are you telling me there was an Elvis Statue of Liberty, or are you telling me there's two different things?
There was a comma.
Oh, okay.
Elvis, Statue of Liberty.
I was really hoping there was an Elvis Statue of Liberty, but okay, continue.
Really, it's hard to when you talk fast, it's hard to really speak a comma because you don't want to sit there and go, well, yeah, there was an Elvis, comma, Statue of Liberty, comma, the Olympic torch being lit, comma.
Actually, I prefer you speak that way.
Yeah.
They should have the Elvis Statue of Liberty actually a real thing, and then, as you pull up to, go and see it in awe, it's playing You're Nothing But a Hound Dog. I think that would be fantastic. I would be there for that, and hopefully they will be serving hot dogs out front. You're nothing but a hound dog. Go ahead. Sorry, poor joke.
You ain't nothing but a wiener winging.
Yeah.
But they had it was just all these ornaments, statues of liberties. But we found the 96. It was the Olympic torch lighting because it was in Atlanta that year. So they had that ornament that lights up and makes noises.
Where the infamous bombing happened.
Yes, the Richard Jewell. So we can actually put that up, watch the movie Richard Jewell.
Right.
And then figure out from there.
You could have traumatic experiences while hanging up your new Christmas ornament.
We could. And for whatever reason, my parents saved the boxes, but packed the ornaments somewhere else. So like we're looking through it, there's the Three Stooges Hallmark put out. And I'm like, this is kind of light. I open it up and like they're not in here. Yellow Submarine, not. But why did you save the box and then wrap it elsewhere? Why didn't you just put it back at? But then I was just getting too far. I was just like, no, what are we doing? Don't go down this route. So, but yeah, so we unearthed all of this Christmas stuff. And
were you collecting them to bring them home with you? Was the end game?
Well, it was growing up. We got them for our tree, and we had like a tree that probably could have fall down. That's how heavy it was with ornaments. Right. And I remember when they first came out with like little clickers to turn off the lights, because we used to have to go on the back of it, unplug the Christmas tree. This is before they would sell these artificial trees that had the little plug that you step on to click on and off. But this one, we got a clicker for it, and whenever we would click it back on, all of the audio ornaments would go off at once. So we had like 15 different ones, like Star Trek. This is a Santa answering machine, comma. There were some different things in there. So we turn on the tree, and then all of these things would just start talking at once, including Elvis. So it
really?
Was,
wait, so you had ornaments that all came on? You push a button, they all come on at the same time?
For whatever reason, with this remote switch that we had connected to the outlet, everything started at once.
That sounds insane.
And
your house
so
your house was crazy.
Yeah. my house was. I grew up. This is why I'm the way I am. But whenever people would come over for the first time, we'd be like, "Hey, check this out." Of course, it would have to be during Christmas time. We didn't keep it up we weren't crazy to keep up the Christmas tree all year round. So we just did it. But yeah, if that it was something else. But yeah, now I'm finding all these Christmas ornaments, and I'm like, I wonder if any of them are valuable because.
Ooh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, I sold a whole bunch of mine that I had just taken with me. I basically had enough for a Star Wars tree, and then I was just like, I only want one. Like we used to have several Christmas trees in the house, but I'm just like, I don't feel like putting up because you gotta put up the tree, then you gotta take it down, and it's a lot of it's a pain in the ass. So you don't want to do it.
Absolutely. Well, Heather,
so I sold off all my Star Wars stuff.
Heather hates taking the tree down. I feel like she even hates putting it up. I am personally in love with Christmas. I love Christmas.
No.
More than even being when I was a kid. I love Christmas so much.
Chris is misspeaking and mislabeling me as a Christmas hater.
Well, no, you just don't like putting it up early, which I really enjoy. I would put it up. I would put it up in September personally.
I know you would, but then we would get sick of it and we would all hate Christmas because it would be Christmas almost like all year round.
I'll be honest with you, I'm good with that.
I'm not. And you wouldn't be, I promise.
Can you see where the negativity starts in our home? You can see it now, can't you?
Oh my goodness.
It's right in your face.
I do not like going into the attic and getting all the shit down.
Exactly why you need to bring it down early and put it all up, because if you think about it, you put it up at the very beginning of December, and at the end of December, you're collecting it all. Why not have it a spreaded long period of time?
It makes more sense to me. We put it out in November. First of all,
it wasn't.
Second of all, we take it down in January. So we have a good spread, but the attic is a bitch. I hate going up there. I always feel like I'm going to fall down the little ladder, or I'm going to fall through the ceiling, or something's going to get damaged.
You're not even going to get hurt. You're like a leaf.
You go up there and see how freaky it is. It's horrible.
Listen, if I went up there and I came down, the house would never be the same. There's no reason for me to be up there.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me now?
I cannot. I haven't heard a single word any of you said.
No. Right now?
Don't know what you're saying.
You're not hearing anything.
Chris.
Wow, what is going on?
He can't hear you.
I understand that, but I don't understand why he's not hearing us. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I still can't.
Really?
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just like, it's almost like I'm underwater.
Disconnect, and then reconnect. See what I did there?
Try that. I heard that.
Oh, really? You heard that part, the most important part?
I think he's fucking with us.
How about now? You can't?
Nope.
Okay, Skype. On your Skype, hang up.
Hang up.
Okay. And then dial me.
And then reconnect.
Yeah, and then reconnect.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, this is hilarious.
Doing it now.
This is great. What a great episode of the Furrow Nonsense. Oh, look at Jason. Oh my God, look at Jason. He looks great. All right, let's try this again. Let's see what happens. Hopefully this works. I don't think we've ever had this problem before. Okay, how about now? Can you hear us now?
No, I can hear you clicking, but I can't hear you talking.
You can hear me clicking, but you can't hear me talking.
All right, now I can hear you again.
You can hear me now.
Now I can. Now we're good again.
Oh.
What is happening?
It's voodoo, man. I'm telling you.
I'm not even removing this out of the podcast. This is great. This is great content. People seem to be having more fun right now than before.
That's perfect.
So basically what I was saying is that Heather hates Christmas. And
I don't. Anyway. That's a lie. I don't like going into the attic. That was the gist of it.
Heather said fuck Christmas while you're gone. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
I never said that.
So anyway, my parents had a bunch of old Christmas ornaments, and some of the Christmas ornaments that they had or found from my grandparents were the ones that had like liquid that went through them. Do you remember those from like the 70s?
Oh, the bubbles?
Yes.
The bubble lights? Yeah,
yes.
Those are awesome.
It makes me wonder, are they valuable? Because now I don't know. I know we threw a lot of those away. A lot of them were thrown into the garbage. But I guarantee that I bet many of those were very expensive, like nowadays. I'm going to have to go and talk to my parents and see if they have any more of that shit left over.
That's sad. See, the loss of the bubble ornaments is very sad to me. I used to have I always wanted them for our big tree, and we never had them. So I had like a small tree from my bedroom as a kid, and I had little.
What?
It was like a miniature set.
You had a small tree?
Yeah, like a fake. It wasn't.
But no,
like
I'm saying like small Jason had a small tree. What the fuck was my tree? I was small Chris. What happened?
I don't know.
This is bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't like what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I got a nice little small artificial tree, and I put like a little string of lights on it, and this is before they had pre-lit trees. And I remember when they did the first pre-lit trees, I was just like, "What? Where has this been my whole life? Like, why?" We had to sit there, put the tree together, and then go, okay, so we got to figure out which light strings are good, which ones are bad. It was always it was just like any joke from like Christmas Vacation, like where he pulls out the entire like big ball of lights. That's what it was like. That's what it was like having a tree growing up. But yeah, so I had a little mini tree with the mini bubble lights. But I don't know what happened to those mini bubble lights. I'm assuming they're bubbling with your lights as well somewhere else.
Yeah, well, so Brian Barrick says if the strands are unbroken and have functioning oil set up, they are valuable. So I'll have to look and see if we have any of those left over. That I don't know. I mean, us guests are goofy people sometimes. We have valuable things and then we just toss them into the trash because nobody wants to claim ownership and store them in their house without really thinking, should I put this on eBay and try to make a couple dollars off of it? When I saw those, I was like, wow, that's from the 70s. That's really cool. Bye. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't care about these. But they have hit. Yeah, rip. And they have a hit, and they have history. I should have done something with them. Now I feel like a big asshole. Heather, am I a big asshole?
No comment.
Great, thanks. Can you throw a comma in there?
Not in this case. Not in this instance. Other ways, yeah, but not in this instance.
Right.
So that's what I did. But in between that, we just drove around. I drove, like, I was looking for a bakery that was open. Couldn't find one. I had a very specific craving, and it also harkened back. I think it was just because I went to, since I was going to my parents, it's the house I grew up in. We used to go to this bakery around the corner a lot called the Woodley Bakery. And when I would go there, my dad always would get these, they were like cinnamon twisty, like these pastries. And it wasn't like a donut. They were just like, I don't want to say churro, but they almost looked like churros, but they were like bow tie type of, I think my dad called them elephant ears. But
I've heard of those. I think
like
I've had that before.
Yeah, and they leave a mess everywhere. You bite into it, and it's like biting into everywhere. It's almost like a phyllo dough consistency, but it's got cinnamon sugar on it, and it's absolutely delicious.
I'll be honest. There are some snacks and things that I will move away from eating. I'll like dodge them completely because they make too big of a mess. Is that ridiculous? Because I'm like too lazy to clean it up.
It's weird because you are a huge fan of wings.
Oh no. Well, hold on. I'm like kind of taking into Jason's time about what he's talking about. But when it comes to a wing, I keep a lot of paper towels around me, and I use almost a full roll of paper towels when I'm eating wings. I don't like my hands being dirty.
A full roll of paper towels to dry your hands.
Jason, it's probably good that you continue because we'll probably battle over this.
Well, wait, real quick while we're off topic. Flats or drums?
Oh, flats all day, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, all day.
Although you shouldn't be like so excited about it because if we ever have wings, we'll all be fighting over the flats.
Yeah, but we'll all be happy. See, I go when I go up to my butcher shop now, I'll get 2 pounds of fresh chicken wings, and I always ask. I just say, could I please have more flats than drums? Because if I don't say that, I had like 2 flats and like 10 drums.
Wow.
And I was just like, nah. I said these are good, but I want more flats. And then the next time I got nothing but flats and like 1 drum, and I was like, this is fine. They grill better. I grill my wings, and they grill so great.
Oh, I love grilling wings.
You grill them, and then heat them up in the air fryer the next day.
Ooh.
They come out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I gotta put on new pants.
Yeah.
You've
never seen a man eat so many chicken wings.
Remember the corn? Shoki Reviews says boneless. He likes boneless.
Oh, that's just chicken breast chopped up. That's nonsense.
That's painful.
They just cut up pieces of chicken. Who does that? But again, there's sometimes nothing wrong with that. I think Bill Bateman's the one around me when they have boneless wings. They'll do it's like chopped up pieces of chicken and like it's good chicken. It's real. It's real chicken.
It's real chicken, but it's the lazy man's chicken wing.
It's like partial chicken fingers. It's like it's chicken finger hors d'oeuvre. That's all that is. So I wanted these specific things from the bakery, and I drove by it, and they closed at 2:00, and it was like 3 something, and I was like, crap. So I'm like, okay, we'll go get coffee over at Zeke's on Harford Road. Drive over to Zeke's. They close at 2:00, and I'm just like, son of a bee. In the meantime, everybody is turning left, and I'm in the left lane. So everybody is just stopping, and then I can't turn to my right lane because all these cars are zipping by me. So I'm getting angrier and angrier, and then I don't have my treat, and I'm just like, all right, fine. So we wind up at the Starbucks, at a Starbucks drive-thru, and I see somebody standing outside of their car in the drive-thru, and I'm like pulling up to it, and I realize that man is broken down in the drive-thru. So we have to go. So
painful.
So we had to go inside. But then when we get out, the guy's still there, and then the woman who worked at that Starbucks goes up to the car, and she's like talking to the guy to get in the car, and she starts pushing it, and my wife looks over and she goes, "Should you help?" And I'm like, look up, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, hold on. So I like run out of the car, and she was a strong lady, and I said, excuse me, would you like some help? She goes, sure. So we start she's pushing the car, I'm just pretending, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we're doing a good job. I like lean down, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing the majority of the work here. Meanwhile, she's just like, a strong lady. So we push it, and then as we're like pushing it back further, then 2 police cars come into the parking lot, and it's a small parking lot, so there's a lot of cars and a lot of people doing a lot of stuff at once, and we're trying to help this gentleman. The gentleman, I don't know if he had a disability of some kind, but I don't know what was the situation with him, but we needed to help him get his car out of the drive-thru. So I'm just like, hey, I got an idea, because everyone's trying to figure out how to get this car away from everything else, and there's more people pouring into the parking lot now. I'm like, hey, I'll move my car, and then that way you can just slide this right in there, and then I can leave, and then that's all.
You can go home and be out of this.
Go home. So that's what happened. I pull my car out, cop hops in the car, and all this, I don't know how he made it move, because the car wouldn't go. But all of a sudden, he's just like door open, like slides in, like Tokyo Drift style. He's like, and then hands the keys back to the gentleman's car, who owned the car. So I did a good deed today. I pretended to help move a car.
Good for you.
And then the most important thing was I just had to leave, and that's what helped everything go quicker. Once I got out of the way, everything went smoothly.
So Shoki Review says bones are for tryhards when it comes to chicken wings. K&L Collectibles says La refuses to buy paper towels, and we continue to use a dish towel. Heather actually hopes that we do that, because I use way too many.
A dish towel for wings, though?
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
That's like a handkerchief that you use constantly and blow your nose.
Oh, we talked about handkerchiefs one time.
Yeah, and then offer to a lady. Here, my lady, are you upset? Here's my snot towel.
Oh, it's so gross. Like, I remember my great grandfather having his handkerchief and blowing his nose into it and shoving it back inside the bowels of his pocket. And I'm thinking, that's so gross. Like, what happens later with this?
Ma'am, here's a handkerchief. Don't mind the hard boogies. Mind the hard ones.
Like, it falls out. Like, imagine it falls out of my great grandfather's pocket and somebody has to pick it up, and they don't have no idea what they're about to get themselves into.
I don't pick anything up off the ground.
Well, yeah. Nowadays, back then.
Yeah.
Dean Blockley says, my mate eats the bones in his wings. How does he eat the bones? I need to know how that happens.
Is he an animal? Is he a shark?
What do you say?
Maybe his mate is a snake. Just dissolves it.
Like, who's eating bones? I've never heard of such a thing.
My friend Phil he was eating steamed shrimp one time, and he was eating the shells to them because he didn't feel like peeling them off. It was at a tailgate, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? He's just like, I don't feel like peeling them off, and I'm cold. And I'm like, what? Why?
Next time I see Phil, I'm gonna smack him upside his head for that.
Oh, I give him shit about it constantly.
That's
because
the
I'm
craziest
like, why
shit
do
ever.
you?
What?
I'm just like, remember that one time you just ate shrimp shells?
So here's what scares me about that. My dad had a friend, actually a former boss, who was eating oysters and out of the half shell or whatever, and he accidentally ate part of like one of the shells. It ended up ripping up his intestines. They had to go in and do surgery to repair everything. It was horrible. In fact, there's like some sort of septic problem, I guess, that happens inside your body if it cuts into like your intestine. So he had all these problems. They had to go in there and clean it all out. I mean, what a mess. Like, it was really, for real, a shit show.
Yeah, I imagine you could get blood poisoning from something
Oh,
like that.
dude,
too.
it was horrible. Like, he almost lost his life.
Sepsis.
Yeah.
The choice of a new generation.
To
To
rewind back, you mentioned that you had to go inside of Starbucks today. Is there nothing worse nowadays but having to walk inside of like a fast food or a shop like that? Like, me personally, when I go to like any, like Wendy's, sometimes we like to go for a Frosty. God forbid I have to walk inside, because I just know that it's disgusting in there. It just is. Like, it's just a disgusting
Starbucks
place.
isn't disgusting though.
I'm not talking about Starbucks. I'm kind of veering more into like the fast food type of joints.
Okay.
The only place I feel okay walking into, and I don't think I'm going to pick up any harsh viruses. It's funny because now Corona's a thing. But walking in, I feel okay with walking into a Chick-fil-A, and that's just about it. Because I really trust that they're cleaning the place up.
I would hope. But their drive-through has become somehow more efficient.
Yes.
But everyone's using the drive-through, so it's wrapped around the building like 3 times. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy that many people are just getting Chick-fil-A. Like, Chick-fil-A always looks like it just opened. It's just like, what are they giving away something? No, there's just everyone's at the Chick-fil-A.
So
and we have a Starbucks across the street from that Chick-fil-A. Same story. Line wrapped around there the whole time. I won't even go there. I hate it. I can't go to that that Starbucks. Every time I go in there, first of all, the nitro cold brew. Oh, it's broken. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, you son of a...
So Shoki Review says you went in a Starbucks like some kind of peasant.
Yeah, like a peasant. I want to be waited on in my car where I can scratch myself without being judged.
That might be the comment of the night.
Inside. Yeah, I wanted to listen to my mixtape that I made, you know.
I hate walking into those places. Like, I want to drive in and then get the hell out of there. Like, I'm usually a walk-in because I always feel like the drive-thru is too long no matter where I go. So I have no problem walking into it, but it's way more of a pain in the ass now because you got to have the mask. You got to mask up and you got to do all this other stuff. You very much remind me of a friend I work with. He likes what I like to call the experience. Mm-hmm. So you like to walk in, you like to be a part of it. When you go to Chick-fil-A, you want to be there. Like, that's how he is. He likes to sit down at restaurants and eat, and there's like an experience there. Me, I can pull up, have to go, and go home and not give a shit. But you have I'm talking about like this whole pandemic thing. There are things that you wish you could do during the pandemic that I really couldn't care less about. Like, I'm okay with shopping online. I'm okay with making all my food at home. I'm okay with pulling up to the front of a restaurant and them carrying their food out to me.
Well, I've seen what Heather's been cooking, and yeah, I wouldn't mind eating at home all the time too. So
Heather is fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, she's the way she's plating food. I was just like, what the? I'm
it's
like, where did she get that from?
I know. And then at the end, she always makes a really good dessert too. There's always a good dessert, and that's not sexual.
I thought she like unwrapped like a pair of Tandy cakes or something. Like she opened up a Twinkie. Here you go. That's the noise.
She's been making me these, like, at one point in time, she was making me these little muffins in the morning. They were like oatmeal muffins, which were fantastic. Because I'm trying to, like, not eat like a shithead because you can't really do anything. I can't go to the gym, and I've gained so much goddamn weight. I look ridiculous right now. Like, I don't fit in shirts well now. Like, the shirts look like a dress on me now. I don't know what's going on because it's so wide.
You're wearing dresses.
I'm wearing dresses. I'm wearing dresses now. It's a thing. But she's making that, and then she made me. What was the other thing? You made me. It's like oatmeal. It was like almost like a pudding or something. What was that?
Overnight oatmeal.
Overnight oatmeal. Can you tell them what that is? Because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful.
Tell the people what that is.
Explain.
I think everybody by now knows what that is, but you just put all the oatmeal ingredients in a little jar and leave it in the fridge overnight, and you eat it. You can warm it up, but a lot of people eat it cold.
Oh, it's great. In the morning, I like anything like super cold in the morning. I don't know what it is. Like that, when you have that first scoop of like cereal with milk. I know you're not a milk fan, Jason, but when you're eating that first scoop of like milk and cereal, it's just it's such a, like, it's so much, I don't know. It's so exciting and invigorating. And it's like, it starts off my morning right. So when I get to work and I have my little, what's that little jar you gave me? What is that called?
Mason jar.
A little mason jar, and I take my little weird plastic spoon from work and I dip into that son of a bitch. It is like the best thing ever. Yes, it's fantastic. I love it. It's
I'm gonna eat some oatmeal, dip my spoon in that son of a bitch. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic.
We're gonna spoon out this oatmeal. It's gonna be delicious. Hell yeah.
K&L Collectible says, Chris, dessert can always be sexual. Thank you. I know.
Okay.
I was there.
Okay.
I know.
Is it just the whipped cream connotations, or?
It's really hot. I'm talking like this now because I'm turned on.
Whipped cream.
Are you telling me that you and your wife are not? Because let's rewind for a second.
No, we cook.
Well, you mentioned that that Heather puts together a really nice dish. Let me just explain what happened. What was it 2019? We went over for a pumpkin beer tasting.
Was it before Thanksgiving or after? It was before, right?
No, it was. I think it was November.
It was before because it was my birthday.
November.
It was on my birthday, my actual birthday.
Yeah, I remember.
We went over, and this lovely person put together a spread of food that went together with pumpkin beers. I went over, and I didn't really know what we were going to do. He had explained it to me. Jason explained to us what he was going to do. I didn't really realize what he was going to do. He made a full list roster of pumpkin beers, and then he was going to serve certain pumpkin beers with certain dishes. And holy shit, it was one of the best experiences I've had like that ever in my life. It was so fun. Like, it was fun because you were giving us pumpkin beers I'd never had before. You were giving us like dishes that I'd never really had before, and you were pairing them all properly. And it was really, really fun. You're telling me that Heather's pictures look great? What are you doing over there? I'm sure you're making really good meals. You have to be.
Yeah, it was good. You trailed off at the end there. I couldn't hear you again.
I'm sorry.
Every time, like you.
I'll say it again. I'll say it again this time.
I can hear you.
Okay,
again
you can
now.
hear me. I was saying that Heather, you might have seen really good pictures from Heather of dishes she made, but you can't tell me you guys didn't make fantastic food at your place over on this.
When it first started, we were gung-ho, and we started like making salads. I was like sitting there looking at recipes. I'm just like, we could do this. We didn't have leftovers, and like the leftovers we did have, we'd incorporate it to another meal. And then about the 5th week hit, and we were just like, now we're just sick of food. Like both my kids are sick of burgers and hot dogs because I was grilling like 3 times a week. I'm like, yeah, burgers and hot dogs. I was making them a special way. I take the ground beef, you see. I have a little chopped up onion, and I put it in the center, and then I form the ground beef around that onion, and then I put some seasoning on both sides, and I push it in a hamburger press.
Whoa.
So the onions cook inside the meat. Ha ha ha. And it's so good. But if I had to chew another hamburger right now that I made, which is good, but if I had to do it, I was just going to lose my mind. And like hot dogs, macaroni and cheese, I'm so sick of eating. And like I tried, I'm like, well, maybe if I have Italian sausage. And I love Italian sausage for like a day. And then we have leftovers, and I'm like, I don't want to do anything with this. I don't want to eat anything. I just don't want to eat anymore. I don't want to eat anymore. I don't.
You don't want to eat anymore. You're talking about food at your house. You don't want to eat anymore.
I think just in general, if I could just somehow skip a week of eating, and not die, or or have some sort of like terrible thing, like you ever just get bored of eating?
Never in my
Oh,
entire life. I love eating so much, and it's
I
so much fun. What's happening?
yeah,
The
I'm
taste, the
I
smell,
yeah, but then I start
the
like
huge
foods
shit you take later. It's
I
fantastic.
was, but my problem was I was overindulging in the things that I like, and then when
Mm,
the way I am, it almost applies to those little cinnamon twisties. I got sick of them when I was younger because I would eat them every week,
right.
and now I haven't had them in like 5 years, and I'm like, I could go for one, but I just want the one. And it's the same way I am with like yogurt. I think I talked about that, how I'll just buy yogurt constantly, and then I never want to eat it again. I do it with everything, and I've done it with all the foods that I like. And then of course my smoker broke, and now I can't cook anything in my smoker. I can't
Oh,
I can't smoke meat. I can't
oh.
smoke meat. And I'm supposed to. I'm looking at TV, and all the commercials are just like, "It's Father's Day. You know what that means? Dad wants to smoke meat. Here's all the things that Dad likes. Dad likes going out, beef jerky, smoking meats,
Fighting
it's
Wolverines.
dads and grads. Once you graduate, you're a dad. And what do dads like? They like smoking meats.
Smoking meat and kicking bears in the face.
And they like eating they eat strong coffee. They don't drink it. So get them some coffee powder. That's right. And what else does dads like? They like preparation H because they sit too much. They need something to ease it out. Because that's what dads like. And you know what else dads like? Leather. Here's pieces of leather. Yeah.
So Dean Blockley said, I guess talking about the sexual food thing, I'm picturing that Seinfeld episode where George introduces food in the bedroom. Mid-session, he's eating a sandwich. Yep, that's so true. Shoki Reviews asks, Shoki Reviews has a question for you, Jason.
Okay.
What is the best pumpkin beer, and why is it good gourd?
Why is it good gourd? So my favorite, I gotta think real quick. What was my favorite? The Heavy Seas Greater Pumpkin.
Ooh.
That was the one that I liked the most. It's just got a good flavor. A lot of people go for Pumpkin, the Southern Tier beer, and it's fine. I overindulged in it one year, so I'm not as again. It's something that I'm glad only comes around once a year. But Southern Tier is messing around too much. They're starting to do like pumpkin latte nitro. They're starting to do just all these different kinds. They need to just stick to what works and not mess with it. Once they spread themselves out too much. Notable good ones, another local beer that was good was the Patterson. I think I have one right here, as a matter of fact. The Patterson Pumpkin.
Dude, you still have pumpkin beer?
I do. I kept a couple so that way I can drink them.
Dude, that's awesome. Oh my god, I love pumpkin beer so much.
Yeah, so what I'll do is after I have that tasting and I find like the really, really good ones, I'll go out and I'll just buy another one and I'll hold on to it. Because you can they talk about cellaring, which is like a wine term, but you just basically pop it in the fridge, and I've had some that I saved for a couple years and they're still good. They develop different flavors every year that you keep them.
Interesting.
And not just like, ew. I wouldn't try doing that with like a Coors Light or a Not Your Father's root beer or something.
Are you doing this again this year?
I hope so.
Oh God, I hope so.
If all this ish lightens up, for goodness sakes. But I don't know. It's all going to depend on a lot of things, right? I don't know if you've tried buying corn lately, but corn is around $1.50 to $2 per ear right now.
It's very expensive right now.
It's awfully expensive. There was apparently some farm that had like one of the suppliers, they had to destroy an entire crop for some reason. So now everybody's like, they're just trying to cash in on what they have, and it's not as good as it was a month ago. So for anyone out there looking for corn, you're not alone. It's just expensive. So you got to think a dozen ears is like $12, or no,
That's
$24.
crazy. I didn't realize that ears of corn were that expensive right now. Well, no wonder
Yes.
we haven't been eating it, because usually Heather will bring in a lot of corn. But this year, I guess I haven't seen any corn yet.
Yes, we have.
Did we?
I bought 3 ears because they're so fucking expensive.
Whoa, got to use
Three.
the
And
F
they're
word. Okay,
Well,
get
yeah.
it.
Most of it's coming from Georgia right now. So once the Maryland corn starts growing soon, we should be doing all right. We'll be all right by August. So that'll be
Fingers
good.
crossed. I want things to go back to somewhat normal, because
Yeah,
I feel like we can't do anything right now. Like I want to be with friends. I want to hang out with friends and have friends over and like come over to your house. Like every time we come over to your house and hang out, I always have a blast. I want that to come back again.
we've been doing the backyard thing. So I had some friends over last night. We hung out in the backyard. I lit up the chimney, put
We don't
a
have
fire.
one of those
I wish I
anymore.
would have known. We would have been over. What happened?
I didn't think you were coming out.
Unbelievable. Oh,
I
listen, I'm
thought-
coming out.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, when we do it again next weekend, although next weekend is Father's Day, so I'll be sitting there
Yeah.
dreaming about smoked meats and leather, and beef jerky, and socks, and ties. Because what does Dad like to do? He likes to put tools in a tool chest. So buy your dad a smoker that he can also put his tools in and keep them nice and hickory smoked. Hand me the socket wrench, son. Which one is it? The one that's cherry wood smoked.
That would be the greatest Father's Day gift ever.
It would. It disgusts me. I remember going in the section of Target where they had a dad section. They basically, this is what only dads are, and they do it with moms too. Like for Mother's Day, it's like, oh, all mothers, they just love wine glasses, and they like corks for wine stoppers, and they like tampons or whatever. It's so pandering. It's so pandering to people. But anyway, I digress for a moment.
What did I ask?
I
I brought up something for Father's Day that I wanted. What did I? Oh, I asked for an edger, because I'm so tired of using
because you like yard work.
I like yard
Sarah,
work.
Dad.
I hate using the weed whacker to actually like edge. Like it, I can do it. I just hate doing it. So somebody was using one today. Heather and I went for a walk for a snowball. If you don't know what a snowball is in Maryland, it's literally ice with like syrup on it. That's basically all it is. Ground up ice with cereal. Cereal and syrup. I'm sorry, syrup. And it's fantastic. And Heather and I went for a walk today, and on our way back, we saw a guy edging with like an actual edger. So I looked him up on Amazon, and Heather's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm going to buy you one for Father's Day." So I'm really, really excited to use it, because it's going to make my edging so much easier, and our lawn is going to look beautiful, and I can't wait for that.
I can't either.
I know. It's going to be beautiful. I can promise you that.
Yeah, so what flavor snowball did you get? I think this is another very important question.
I'll get to that, but there's a couple of comments that I wanted to get to. Jason will have to be satisfied with eating 8 or 9 corns on the cob.
I did look. I was
Buzzman
practicing.
304.
I was practicing, and I got up to 5, and I was just like, I'm full. I don't want to eat anymore. But I figured I would have more time to train. But if the corn keeps going at this rate, it's not as good. So we're gonna. But that, by the way, that event is actually not happening this year. They canceled it for this year. So my record will stand for at least another year.
Good for you. Did they give you like a belt, like you're in wrestling, where there's like a corn cob on it?
No, I had to unbuckle my belt.
That would be the greatest thing ever.
But it's all right, because you know what else? You know what? It's a good time to get someone a belt for Father's Day, because men like their belts.
You sound like
keep up their pants, brother.
You sound like what's his face? Shit. On how the
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Yeah, this is Alex Jones, the lizard people.
The lizard people are going to celebrate for Father's Day, and this is exactly what we're going to be getting here. So they're going to be buying the beef jerky and the smoked meats. That's what we're gonna
Smoked
use
meats.
for Father's Day.
Shoki said, "I want a vacation to Maryland to meet all my YouTube friends. That would be awesome." Brian Barrick said, "My neighbor was trying to edge his yard with a weed whacker, and for some reason, was twirling his weed whacker around and hit himself in the balls. Best part was he shouted Toro
That's
when he
always
did
funny,
it.
though.
He shouted
If-
Toro.
Yeah, anyone who gets hit in the balls is automatically funny. I've learned that from countless movies.
Oh, that's the
Um,
greatest.
Oh, you know what else that fathers like on Father's Day? Sports DVDs.
Sports DVDs and lizard people.
So he's smoking meat and watching sports. Yeah.
So you had asked what my favorite syrup or flavor.
Yeah. What's your go-to snowball flavor?
I do egg custard. That's my favorite. Number one, baby.
Old fashioned.
Number one. I do. You know what? I hate to tell you this. This is gonna break your heart. I know it is. I do the diet egg custard.
Oh.
It's a diet egg. Well, I'll tell you why. It isn't because I'm watching my weight, because I really am. But
I'm done. I'm done.
it's mainly because I can't take overly sugary stuff anymore. I've been eating and drinking so many diet sort of things. I have a hard time with like hardcore amount of sugar when it comes to like syrup or sodas. Like it's just too much for me. I can't handle it.
What size are you getting?
Medium. I do about
I
medium.
always get small, and if I can get a child size, I'll do that. That way, it's a little bit of the sugar.
Yeah, I do medium, and then because we do we walk there and then walk home. It's a pretty good distance. But on my way home, like I'm eating it, and by the time I get home, I'm usually done. So that's really good. Heather, what is your favorite?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute, but Jason, explain to me what an old-fashioned egg custard is.
I believe the old-fashioned egg custard is made. I think I used to go to this one snowball stand that would make their own, and it was made with eggs. They had to keep it refrigerated. So
Okay.
whatever they did to make it egg custard, it was like legit. So whenever someplace has an old-fashioned egg custard, I definitely go for that with marshmallow on top. Nowhere else, not in the middle,
No.
on the bottom, on top, so it drips over the side, and that way it gets all over your hands and your shirt and your car. And that way you have to use not paper. You have to use your kitchen towel that you carry because you're not allowed to have paper towels. You know.
Well, K&L Collectibles are ready for that. They're not using paper towels. They're gonna have to use a rag. Heather, what is your favorite?
So my favorite right now is called chocolate pudding. And what that is chocolate syrup with cream. So they do a little bit of syrup, a little bit of cream, a little bit of syrup, a little bit of cream. They sort of layer it so the chocolate's everywhere, because if you put chocolate just on top, it's too thick and it doesn't really get to the bottom. So they sort of layer it. They know how to do it there.
Interesting.
Because regular chocolate is a bit overwhelming. And I always ask, like when I do anything chocolatey, I do ask for a little bit less chocolate.
You know what it is? It's just Hershey syrup. Most chocolate snowballs is Hershey syrup.
Yeah.
And once I found that out, because I used to always be chocolate with marshmallow. Once I found out it was just Hershey's, I was like, no more. I'm done with this. So I started going to other flavors, and that's how I got onto egg custard.
I love egg
Old-fashioned.
custard too.
Yeah, it's yum.
I like an egg custard.
I had Skylight today though.
That's something I haven't had since I was a child.
Me neither.
When I was a little child, I would.
What would happen is that we would go for a walk to go get our snowball, and Heather would talk about Skylight on the way to get the snowball and on the way back from getting the snowball.
As I'm eating my chocolate
and I was like,
snowball.
Heather, why don't you just get the freaking Skylight and be done with this? So today on our way, she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to get the Skylight. And I go, well, make sure you order it. I said, but why don't you ask them for a taste first, because they'll give you a sample, just to be sure that you want it. No, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going all in. I said, okay. She ordered it, and believe it or not, she liked it. I was really shocked. Sometimes when you're younger, your tastes are totally different. So I thought maybe you would taste it and be like, and spit it all out, and then you'll throw it away. Luckily, it all worked out today.
Yeah, I wouldn't order it like every time we go, but it was nice to like remember that.
Yeah, and it's weird you mentioned that about being younger. I think I remember reading somewhere sometime that said like every 7 years your tastes change. So like
Yes.
something you may have liked 7 years ago, you're not going to, or even like when you were a kid, um, which doesn't apply apparently to Ecto Cooler that I found out. That's evergreen. It's timeless. Evergreen like its color.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, you were talking about uh, restaurants and stuff. They opened back up for indoor seating in Maryland, and this is something that's when things contradict themselves and don't make sense. I can't handle it like mentally. Like it just will sit there and rack my brain.
Yeah.
So apparently, you can go into a restaurant, and when you walk in, you have to wear a mask, and you sit down. And when you eat, you can't wear a mask. So when you sit down at the table, and all the tables are like 6 feet apart and everything, you can take your mask off. And then when you leave, you have to put your mask back on when you walk out. And when you get outside, you take your mask off again. And my question is, how is that possible? It doesn't seem it. What is the path from your seat to the door? Why is that more dangerous than sitting down? And I don't understand. It's driving me crazy because and why can't you do that everywhere? It's making me nuts.
Heather,
Because it
you're
doesn't make any
better
sense.
you're better on the topics with this. Can you explain?
No, I can't explain. It makes no fucking sense. None of this shit makes sense. Sorry, excuse my
Like
language.
I understand wearing the mask. You're blocking two entry points of this virus, right? Your nose and your mouth. But you got to eat, so you have to have at least your mouth open, but you can't cover. I don't know how it's working. Then you have airplanes. Here, my cousin went on a flight to Vegas, and he took a picture of the plane, and the middle seats were empty, the entire plane. And I'm like, I think I may have said this before. If anything good comes out of this virus, it's going to be that. Getting rid of that middle seat in the airplane so I can sit there and let my fat roll over to the like that's what I just want to be able to spread my boobs out on either side and not sweat so much. That's a good thing. But he had to wear a mask the whole time. So that's like a 5-hour flight.
That's
4.5, 5 hours wearing that thing, and you're breathing in recycled air. So I don't like that. Seems dangerous to me. If all
it does.
It's crazy, and I don't know. It's hard to say what's right and what's wrong. And when we get older and this all passes, this may look like how when they used to prepare for the nuclear bombs, and they made all the kids get underneath the desk and like do this to keep them safe, like the duck and cover. Maybe it'll look like that. And you know what? Fine if it is, but I can't wait for this to be over.
So
it's all.
Hold on.
I want to get through some of the comments. Hold on. So Zach Bonifer posted a bunch of pictures of what looked like snowballs. Then he said alcohol on top. Totally agree with that. D Spark says, "What's wrong with Hershey's?" I guess he's referring to the chocolate. I'm not sure.
Oh, it's just because it's nothing you can get it anywhere. So if you like make crushed ice and just pour some Hershey syrup on it, you're good to go. You can have your own chocolate snowball.
Zach Bonifer says snowball is also a sexual term. That is true.
That is not what I'm referring to.
Dean Blockley said, "Never heard of a snowball, so it's an ice cream with topping." No, it is literally ground or crushed ice, and then they put a syrup on top of it. They'll do strawberry. They do all different types. Egg custard is a really popular one here. It's hard to explain what it tastes like. It's sort of like a Maryland traditional kind of thing. I think you would have to taste it for yourself really to figure out what it tastes like to you. The only thing I can tell you is that it's very, very good.
It is just like much like pit beef. It's a very Maryland thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with all the different flavors. So we'll see.
Shoki Reviews is from Texas. I know that. And he says, we have snow cones. A little different. Snow cones are a bit different.
It's similar, but also different. And I know like shaved ice is another one that's very similar, or Hawaiian ice. It's all very similar, but of course, it's just very Baltimore. It's just like, oh, we took some crushed ice and threw some syrup on it and put marshmallow on top and put ice cream in the bottom because we're crazy.
Right. Jake Carr, who is local, says snowballs suck. Jake, you are wrong.
Oh.
I love you, Jake, but that's wrong. Cosmic Collects is here, by the way. We did a podcast with Cosmic Collects today with a bunch of other YouTubers. Top Pops and all these, a bunch of those guys were on there. Top Pops, who else was on there? Just Wasatch Pop was on there. Captain Pops, Beard Pop, and Dr. Applesauce. A lot of people were on there today. It was a lot of fun. So we'll post that very soon, so you can go listen to it yourself. Asking
I like
a lot of Funko sort of questions.
I have Dr. Applesauce's sticker next to my We Hunt Together sticker.
Oh, very good. Well, listen,
it's out of frame, but it's there.
I'm going to have to get you a larger We Hunt Together sticker because we have to overshadow everybody else.
Okay, fine.
I would. Let's see. D Spark says I wouldn't eat in a restaurant anyway right now. Dean Blockley says our pubs just opened in Australia. You need to give them your details. Can't go to the bar, and all of the poker machines are shut. I guess he says shut down. Can't drink in the smokers area. Also interesting because there's no smokers area here in the States.
You have a smokers area in Australia.
That's crazy. Danny Cable's here. He says you guys rock. You rock too, Danny Cable. We like you. You're awesome.
Whoop whoop.
Dean Blockley says so. It's a snow cone. Never would have thought to put custard on one. So it's not custard. So a custard is literally it's orange. It's a syrup.
It's a thin syrup.
It's a very
just
thin
a
syrup.
Flavor.
It's just a flavor. It's not actually a custard or anything like that. It's just it's just a flavor. It's like putting, I don't know, it's like a syrup on it. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard. It's so funny. I've been eating these for 100 years since, when I was a kid, and I can't even explain what it is. But it's very interesting.
Even growing up, I just assumed that everybody had snowballs. And that was it.
Right.
Like everybody just had them. The same way about pit beef. And then of course, once you grow up, like get out of your state, you're just like, what's that? I was like, you don't have a pit beef sandwich? You're like, what's a pit beef sandwich? What's a snowball? You mean like a snow? And it's always that. Like my wife's from New York, so she's like, oh, you like a snow cone? I'm like, no, it's a snowball. She's like, I don't understand. I'm just like, no, it's like crushed ice with syrup. It's wonderful. This is very important to me. Can we have to eat these?
I don't mean to bring up like your day job or anything, but this is the most interesting thing I think I've ever seen on $7 a pop. I'm looking so tonight it's Sunday night, so they're doing a drop, and there are bot traps.
Oh yeah, you like that?
That is incredible. That is like the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. Look at this.
I see.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's so cool. So that's something new.
Two of them. All three of them got snagged up, so
that's awesome. That's the coolest thing ever.
We're trying to see what it does, but we have big picture says do not buy. Don't buy it.
That's so cool. Yeah, it basically tells you do not buy it. Maleficent, the dragon has dropped to $63. So I just kind of want to throw this out there in the middle of this podcast. We put out a new video about values of Funko Pops. We've noticed some like trends. It seems like during the pandemic, things have been jumping like up. A lot of Funko Pops have been jumping up in value. It's very interesting. My assumption is people can't really spend their money anywhere else, so they're going to buy maybe Funko Pop Grails.
Everyone's. We haven't seen that. I mean, everybody's just clamoring for a lot of Funko Pops right now. And, just to be connected again to anything that they did prior to all this shit starting. But we certainly haven't seen any changes. If anything, our demand has gone up for, our stuff because we had to shut down for a while. And, coming back, we didn't know if anyone was still going to be there. Like it was uneasy, making those decisions. But then when we came back and we had that first drop and like, I think everything of like importance on our first drop back sold out within 3 minutes.
Wow.
So, and we put a good amount into there and it sold out and all the good stuff gone in 3 minutes, which is, I'm like watching it and I'm just like, I texted Leo. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, that's unbelievable. I said, I guess everyone really missed us a lot.
How are you enjoying the whole? We never really talk about this on the podcast, but because we're here and there's a bunch of Funko Pop lovers here, and a lot of people, I would say most people know about $7 a pop. How are you liking the $7 a pop life? How's it treating you?
Oh, it's fine. I've been it's fun rather, not it's fine. It's fun. Yeah, to have everything like start to roll, and then this got stopped in the middle of it, and so I had to be home for a while, and then you're just trying to I was getting my stepping in. I was like, oh, we got a routine going. This is great, and then you have to stop because we don't know what's going on. But I'm doing more videos now, and I'm introducing some characters in them. I don't know if you got a chance to see the last one we did this past week.
I did. It was fantastic.
Harvey Melanoma, or the man on the spot, man on the scene.
Did Melanoma come from Melanoma Head from Uncle Buck?
It may have, but I think that's his. That's from what I understand from speaking to Harvey. That's just his Christian name. That's what he decides to go by. So that's what his parents named him, Harvey, from the great Melanomas. And he must have an Uncle Buck, I'm guessing. Old Buck Melanoma. Melanoma Head's coming.
Melanoma Head's what he's coming. So Dean Blackley says, does $7 a pop drop get as much hate mail as the Funko Shop does?
No. Because at least we don't. I mean, I'm the one who gets all the messages for the most part. So no, I mean, it can be frustrating because a lot of people, like Funko Shop, they'll have 10,000 of something, let's just say, that's in limited edition, or like 5,000. So it sells out super fast. Whereas we have maybe one of an item that 1,000 people want, or not 1,000, but let's just say like there's 30 people going for the same item. It's going to be 29 people who aren't going to get it and who are going to be upset that they missed out. And if someone just has to be a half second quicker, and then it grabs the item. But
wow.
Yeah, people have success, and they like us for it, and we try and keep it fair as much as we can, and it's great. I enjoy it. I enjoy working in that environment. It's a lot of cool folks that work there, and everybody gets my references, so that's probably the best part of it all.
Awesome. That's cool.
They get me.
It's funny because I went to look at $7 a pop I don't know, like maybe 4 minutes ago, and it looks like they shaved off. Did you have a lot of stuff that went up tonight that were like high end?
Yes.
None of those are left.
Correct.
Yeah, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it because when I went to look, I thought I'd see something gone, completely gone.
And that's how it's been going. But of course, the whatever bot traps that were set up those will go back out. But we'll see.
That's amazing that you guys are doing.
You should
that.
just keep the bot money.
That's why I was joking. Well, remember Funko Shop did that? They had it listed as Tony the Tiger, but it was Nux.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like everybody got all these Nux, and they were all like some people were getting like 40, some of them, and they were all pissed off. and then Funko's like, "We told you it was Nux. Like the picture was very obvious."
Right.
Yeah, but no. But we try to keep it fair for everybody. Everybody wants an opportunity to get these things, and if you lose because somebody's just a little quicker than you, that's great. But if you're using other methods to get this, and a lot of people ask, why doesn't the Funko Shop use like anti-bot software, or why doesn't Walmart or Target? They don't really care. They don't care if they sell out, their product's gone. They don't care what happens to it on the secondary market. But we like everybody who shops with us, and we want them to have a fair shot at getting these things.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. A couple more. Let's see. I'm creating my own 1/6 scale Steve Rogers. The pieces are coming in Thursday. Phoenix Hogan says that's fantastic. D Spark said I got shut out again tonight. I got to work on my game. Yes, you do. In order to get those awesome $7 a pop pops, you have to be on your game. Do bots just buy the first listing? Click my vid asks.
I don't know. I don't. I'm learning all about like how it works, and I don't. I thought I knew how bots worked, but I don't. But we don't have a really huge rampant problem with it, like other sites may. But we've caught some in the past, and if we caught them, you get banned, and you don't get to you no longer get to participate.
Excellent.
So yeah,
The
it
way it
doesn't
should be.
pay. It doesn't pay to play unfairly.
That
At least for us. That's what I have to say about that.
that is awesome.
Yes,
Um,
that is awesome.
And that is awesome. Wow. So this has been fun tonight. I've really enjoyed doing this live. I've enjoyed the last couple of lives we've done. So we will continue to do this at random. Who knows? You'll never know when we'll go live. Maybe one night we'll do something live like this for Heroic Nonsense and give something really cool away. You don't know unless you tune in. So make sure you tune in to an upcoming live Heroic Nonsense because we might have something really, really super cool. I'm not lying to you. I know something right now in my head. Next time we go live with Heroic Nonsense, I'm going to have something really cool to give away.
Yeah, for all of you fathers out there.
Yeah.
We're going to give away some smoked barbecue. That's all you want. You are just one-dimensional. You like tools, you like smoked meats, you like bacon. So we're going to give you bacon ties and bacon socks.
It's going to be a
You
hammer
have no
with a cherry wood handle.
And you're married to a woman who likes wine. Isn't that right? So here's a 20-gallon wine glass that's painted on. Oh! Sorry.
I'm having too much fun. Guys.
Next weekend, it's Father's Day, by the way.
It is. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
In fact,
dads and grads.
this week when we have an episode about Father's Day, we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Because I want to talk about my father and what type of guy he is and how amazing he is. He's a great man.
Your father.
My father.
Father.
So I don't really have to say this, definitely on a live, but for the podcast, sure, I'll say it. If you guys are just finding us, we are the Gastlecast, Heather and myself. Heather, say hi.
Hi.
Heather and I are the Gastlecast. We have a YouTube channel full of awesome things. We talk about awesome stuff, mainly toys and collectibles and all things in between. We have a great time, so you totally come and check us out. Listen to what we have to say. Sometimes some of the stuff we say is pretty cool. I would say most of the time, Heather's just putting me down hardcore, and it's hilarious. And also go check out our Instagram at Gastlecast. We post a lot of really fun stuff there as well. In fact, over the last couple of days, I've been posting some photography of my 1/6 scale action figures, and I had so much fun yesterday. I was bored. I had nothing going on, so I took my camera and I took a couple photos and I posted them on Instagram, and they came out really nice. I was really excited about them. So go check us out, Instagram at Gastlecast. You're not going to want to miss that.
And you can find me at Swool Boba Fett, which I believe is like right down here, is it not?
It is.
I'm pointing in the right area.
You are, but not for the podcast listeners.
Oh, that's right. The podcast listeners don't know that right here says at Swool Boba Fett. That's all I have to say about that.
Guys, thank you for tuning in, listening, and hanging out with us. We really appreciate you. Go and make sure you give us good ratings on depending on what place you're listening to. I think Google Play and Apple and all that stuff will allow you to rate us. So give us a good rating. We'd really appreciate that. And make sure if you watched us live, go listen to us for a few minutes. Give us a listen on Anchor or whatever. That really helps us out. It helps us grow our podcast, okay? And it definitely helps growing the podcast so we have a little extra dough to go out and buy some cool prizes that we can give away right here to you live. You're not going to want to miss that.
Yeah, and we can get extra dough because fathers love dough. We can smoke that pizza on the grill. Yeah.
But that's it for all of us, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Meat! Smoked meat!
All right. That's it. Guys, man, that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. We have a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast, Dean Blockley says. Thank you, buddy. You're awesome. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. Our plan with this podcast really was for us to do something different. We wanted to do, Heather and I started as a podcast with Gastlecast.
Yeah, we were not a couple. We started as a podcast.
We did, as a podcast.
And then we became a couple.
We did.
And then we became the Gastlecast. No, I'm
did.
just kidding.
We did. And it was awesome.
You met at hey, you want to start a podcast together? I have no interest in you any other way. Fine.
I just want a podcast. But no, we started out the Gastlecast as a podcast, and we were basically talking about movies and TV shows and a whole bunch of other crap. And we ended up making a video one day about Funko products, which turned us into like a YouTube channel. And ever since then, we've been a YouTube channel. But we wanted to go back to our roots and make a podcast. And the first person that came to mind, because I wanted to be a trio, the first person that came to mind was Jason, because we love Jason and we've talked to him a lot before we did this podcast. And I just knew that he would hit it off well with us, like as far as like a forum talking about shit. And now I told Jason, I said, I'm always working the Gastlecast. Can you just like put together whatever we're going to talk about for the podcast? It would just make it much easier for me. And you've done a great job, and I really appreciate that. But now Jason is busy. So now it's just going to have to be a team effort of what we come up with. Because Jason is also making videos now.
Yeah, usually I would just be like, oh, I've all week I've been working and I can't stand anything. So let's just talk about anything that's not work. But late this year, ever since I started the new gig, I've been pretty happy. So it's like my anger has subsided. I just get annoyed at other things.
I gotta say, it makes me happy because when we did start doing the podcast, you were not really happy with what your work was like, your work schedule, everything. And after you started with $7 a pop, I've totally noticed a difference in you and your positivity, and you just seem to be more excited about things nowadays. So that's awesome. I'm really happy. We're happy for you. I know I'm happy. I'm sure Heather, are you happy?
I'm always happy when my friends are happy.
Good.
And it's part that and part booch.
Yeah, part booch. That's right.
Part booch.
But listen, guys, that's it. We will be back. Heather and I will be back on Wednesday to hang out with you once again. We posted a new video tonight, so please go and check out the new video. Leave us a comment, leave us some likes and all that kind of jazz. We'd really appreciate it. The newest video is really funny. I really enjoyed making it with Heather. The video actually took about 25 minutes to make, and I broke it down to 5 minutes. Believe it or not.
Hold on. Is this the one with Captain America on the cover?
It is.
You are the biggest liar ever. We had to record that thing twice.
Oh, we did. We recorded it twice. I forgot to hit the record button on the first time.
Yep.
That's how big of an asshole I am.
You know what the biggest part of annoyance about that is for me? I really made that sentence much longer. You know what was annoying about that?
What?
When we went to record, I told Chris, I said, the mic isn't on. He turns the mic on, doesn't hit the record button.
What an idiot. So anyway,
I didn't say it,
yeah.
you did.
Anyway, it was a really good video, so go and check it out. We'd really appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much. And remember, we will have Ghastly and Gastlecast pins for sale very, very soon. I know you guys are looking for those. We will have those up and ready for you very, very soon. Hopefully within the next week, maybe the next week or two. Okay, so keep your eyes out for that. Jason, as always, thank you so much for being on and hanging out with us. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it.
So I'm thinking that we'll bring you back for another live interview kind of thing and talk some more and dive a little bit deeper into Funko knowledge. And I have some questions and things for you that would be good for that episode. So within the next maybe 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have you back on for a Sunday night.
How about you ask him if he wants to do that before just assuming?
No, because
you got to do it live. That way I'm cornered and you know my
exactly
reaction.
Heather, do you not understand my motives?
I can't be like this. Oh, jeez. Look at the time.
I gotta go.
Sorry, guys. I'm incredibly busy.
My phone is gone now.
My phone is no.
So I'll talk to you about getting something scheduled very soon. I hope we can do that. But that's it. Jason, any final words?
A Mars bar is just a Milky Way.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's very wise. Thank
Mind
you, Jason.
blown. Guys, remember as always, we are together, yes. We will catch you next time.
Bye. Jason, you look like me.
It's Heather, Jason.
It's Harvey Melanoma. I'm live. And if anyone does get a chance, head over to the $7 a pop YouTube channel, and you get to see the Handmade by Robots video where Harvey Melanoma, man on the spot, gets introduced with these glasses on. So, yeah.
Go watch his video and give him love. He deserves it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a behind the music on it too. It's gonna be like, so an oral history of Harvey Melanoma.
Good night, everybody. We love you. We'll see you later this week. Have a good week. Bye.
Stay safe out there.